Alright folks, Kenny Smith, Total Force Holdings. I have finally got my voice back after a month. I was going to make this video 4 or 5 weeks ago, but my voice just started cracking, didn't really sound right. And the next day I started coughing up a freaking lung, and lo and behold, I had double pneumonia. And what you see in my hand here is what we're going to do a video about today. Craig Burhart, owner of Skallywag Tactical. I apologize. I have meant to get this video out for a while, but I have been sick as a dog and can't really do a video when you can't talk. So, it is. This right here is the Deep 6 Karambit from Skallywag Tactical. There you go. I think you can see it now. Okay. I got the serrated version just because, why not? Never had a serrated Karambit. Not usually a fan of serrated blades, but I'll kind of discuss what my line of thinking was on this one later. Good. It doesn't lay next to anything. For one, it's really light. It's really thin in profile. If you take the factory belt loop, and I'll touch on that in a minute. Really thin, really easy to carry inside the waistband. Depending on where I'm going, if I'm carrying more than one spare magazine, I wear a double magazine pouch, and I run this loop of 550 cord in between the belt loops on that magazine pouch and in front of the belt loop on my pants. And I just kind of use it like a shock cord, so it's kind of in there like so, and it's free to move, and then it runs out of room, pops right out. You could put like a soft loop on there or something if you wanted. Maybe even two. One of my lights just decided to go out in the building. But they need new ballast, so that's nothing new. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. The Skallywag Deep 6 Karambit, it doesn't cost very much money for what it is. And there's some goods and bads with that. I'm just going to talk about the knife in general, and then we'll get into pros and cons. For one, I like the point. It's almost like if I hold it this way, and you ignore the curve, so I'm kind of pulling out a frame, it almost looks like a Tonto point compared to a more traditional Karambit, which is a much more bellied upturn, which means that the Skallywag Deep 6 can be used for thrusting a little bit easier. It'll pierce better, things like that. I think that's a good thing. One thing that took me by surprise, okay, is when I opened the case for this knife, I saw how small the finger ring was and the finger grooves. And I was kind of leery at first, but I was pleasantly surprised in the end. When it comes to finger grooves, you notice just 511 Karambit, they're very, very narrow, very big finger ring. This has been my preference for a Karambit. And generally, I'd say this is what most people should be looking for. With this kind of groove, this kind of finger ring, just because unless you know what you like in a Karambit, not being quite as locked into grip positioning, where it rides in your hand, things like that, it is a good thing. Just because if you don't know what you like or don't like yet, you can learn how to use it first and then worry about refining. It kind of scared me because I have pretty big hands, alright, and this was a little bit tight at first, or so I thought. Just kind of looking at the knife itself versus the width of my hand, I was like, hold on a minute, this might not be, truth be told, until I started playing with it, my first thought when I saw it was to get my Dremel and grind these off. I'm glad I did not, because they ended up fitting my hand very, very well. So kudos to Burhart on that one. Now, if you want your finger ring and you have hands like mine, it can get up there, but this is, as you can see, it's kind of screwing with the color of my finger a little bit. So I use this one at the first knuckle, okay? Just changing the grip a little bit, which works out well because I like a Karambit for a weapon retention knife, okay? So, all in all, I'm very, very pleased with it. Alright, let's start with the good. I've already discussed the point. Now, Burhart and whoever he had working with him put really big jimping right here on the back of the blade. So if you're using it in a normal grip, all right, this thing fits really good. And I was nervous about these finger grooves there too, but they fit perfectly in the joints of the knuckles, keeping my blade aligned out. And where my knuckles grind, as we see, there the serrations run into. And like I said, I'm going to touch on these serrations in a little bit later. If you want to go choke up, maybe for fine work, like honestly, I've been cutting just about everything that I need to cut. It doesn't require scissors or a bigger knife or something like that. This has been my general utility knife since I got the damn thing. I actually sent Burhard a message and said, hey man, I bought this. I'm going to try to fuck it up. And I say it in a few other words, but anybody who knows me knows that's what I mean. Because I could fuck up an anvil if you left me alone with it long enough. And I use that word because there's a difference between messed up, broke, and fucked up. I will fuck it up. I mean, I fuck shit up regularly and don't even mean to. I'm the most accident-prone person you'll ever meet, and I have several friends that make gear and things like that, or that get gear and want it tested, and like, I'll give it to Kenny. If he can keep it for a month and not break it, it'll last forever for most people. And that's not too much of a stretch. I've shot a Ruger GP100 to destruction. I've shot 2 Glocks to destruction. They still work, but they should have went back to the factory long before I just ordered the parts myself and fixed them. But still, I broke a Remington 870. Yeah, I really did. I broke an 870. Some of my friends were there and saw that. But I can break anything. I'm the only person I know that shot a Ruger Mini 14 until the gas port was so hogged out and the thing kicked like a 7.62x39. It had the recoil of a Mini 30. Okay? I break things. That's just something I've had to come to terms with. So, your producers, if you want to send it to someone and find out if it's like idiot-proof, send it to me. I'll find a way to break it. And not even mean to. But, so I made it clear. I'm going to be rough with this knife. And Burhardt's reply was, beat the crap out of it. We don't make safe queens. This is no safe queen. I have no problem trusting my life to this blade. Now, we've got the jimping here. I talked about. We've got thumb rest for less combative work. Okay. And we've also got jimping back here. Now, I use my Karambits in a reverse grip. What that does is that gives me traction right here at first set of knuckles, so it's less likely to move. Jimping is a good thing, and it's really aggressive, but because he cut such big slots, I'm trying to hold that so y'all can see it. Okay, that's good because they're actually really rounded. There are no sharp edges on this knife except for the one that's meant to be, and that is a beautiful thing. I am extremely picky about knives. If I get a knife and it's got sharp edges on it that affect me as the user, I'll probably be looking to get rid of it later that day, unless it's like a small area that I can like sand down. But for the price, this thing is beautifully finished. I mean, the way everything's rounded, the aggressive jimping, the machining on the blade. I mean, I don't know if y'all can see. There you go. He machined the top spine down. I don't know if they machined it, whatever. The spine is thinner, which makes you still get your reinforced, almost like a Warncliffe type point, because the cutting edge is on the bottom as opposed to a Tonto, where it would be on this side. All right. Warncliffe points, I mean, the Viking Scramosacks had what we now know as a Warncliffe point for a reason. It gives you a full cutting edge, full length of the blade, and it gives you a very refined point. So it's like, think of it as the best of both a Tanto and a drop point, and kind of taking the best of both worlds there. This is the Warncliffe pointed Karambit, and I love it. He's got pretty good lightning holes in here. I don't have a scale, but this thing, okay. It's about the same weight as my Benchmade Sock P, and I actually removed metal on that to get cutting edges on both sides all the way back. So This is a very lightweight knife. What that means is very lively in the hand. It moves quick. Now, I don't know if y'all can see all the marks on this blade. Yeah, a little bit. You can see a little bit of it. There you go. Like I said, I have beat the ever-living crap out of this knife since I got it. It's held up fine. The edge, I need to resharpen it. But, like I said, I've used this for everything. And all I did when I got it was make sure the sharpener that I keep in my work bag and things like that I always have with me, make sure I had the right technique to get this edge sharper than it was. But it shaved me when I got it. Now, for the good, like I said, the sheath is really, really thin. It is a Kydex sheath, but we're going to touch on this when we get to the cons. It's not bad by itself, but how it leaves the factory, as you notice, I've got a piece of 550 cord on there instead of the belt loop that's included. I don't have that belt loop out here. I don't want to see that belt loop again, because I didn't do that into it. And yeah, I just plugged a gun on a video I'm putting on YouTube just to piss YouTube off. But, okay, so with the good, one other thing, it might be hard to see on video here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but Skallywag actually chamfered and beveled going into the fingering. You can come in and it just wraps your finger into it. Very, very, very slick. I wish my 511 Karambit had that. I wish my Benchmade Sock P had that. Now, with the good, there has to be some bad. One of the bad, and I understand why he did this. I understand why Skallywag did this. I am not a fan of 400 series stainless steels. I don't like 420. I don't like 440. Just not a fan. I think there are better steels available today. But I also understand that Skallywag makes high-end knives. They just do. Anything that's high-end costs money. When you start using premium steels and things like that, the cost goes up. All right? And I understand that they wanted to make a knife that was affordable so that just about any budget can afford a Skallywag blade. Beautiful. I mean, I look at it, I like the Skallywag dagger. A lot. But, you know, I look at it, if I was still in the Marine Corps, you know, a young E3, all right, especially if they're one of those that got married and things like that, and they're trying to raise a family on an E3 salary, dropping $225 on a D2 dagger, it's not easy. Even $155 on the 440 dagger, that's not easy to do. This thing, I think he sells it for like 65, 70 bucks, something like that. Oh, I'll get my phone out real quick. But by using a non-premium steel, it allows him to reduce the price, okay, and makes it where more people can get it. Now, obviously, you know, as that guy that used to be out, now I wasn't married too long after I got out of the military, but as that guy that knows what a young E3 makes, especially if you get like a reservist or something like that who's in college, and they're making, you know, what they make working a job most college kids work, plus their drill pay, and they want a knife they could take with them down range, that adds up quick. So, I mean, I get it. Having a lower price knife makes it easy for that young guy to get something that might save his life. A young guy, young gal, whatever. And I'm going to do another video on using a Karambit for self-defense purposes. And it's not going to be like, you know, crazy detailed, but it's just going to give a general idea, you know, the pros and cons for it. Yeah, Burkhart sells that blade for $65. Okay. This much knife for 65 bucks is an amazing deal. Now, what does that do? Those young E3s, E4s show those E6, E7 in their chain of command this knife. They okay, cool, that's a nice blade. I'm going to look at the other stuff. This is great. Plus, I'm going to sell a boatload of these things. Skallywag will sell a boatload of these at that price. I guess I should say a pirate shipload, because it is a Skallywag thing. But anyway, marketing genius is what it is. But to reduce the price, That's got to come from somewhere, okay? And one of those is using a 400 series steel. Does 440 do the job? Yes, it is. It's fine for all intents and purposes. I'm just a knife snob, okay? I prefer AUS 8 at a minimum, AUS 8, and that's not my preferred steel by any means. BG10, things like that. And then you start looking at things like 154 cm, D2. I think this knife made out of D2, oh my God. Or even 154. Now 154 cm is not where it used to be. It's still a fine steel, but that's better. But you start using premium steels at $65 will become $130 quick. Why? Premium steel costs more. So it is a con because this knife out of 440 is not what this knife could be out of another steel. However, don't take that to heart and hold it against this because this knife would not fulfill its intent of being easily acquirable by just about anybody without being a 440 or something like that. And 420 is crap steel. I don't care what anybody says. I hate 420. 440 is not bad. It's just not my preference. For other cons with the blade, this isn't this blade. This is a Karambit specific thing. These recurved edge blades are a little bit harder to sharpen, like this one, my 511 Karambit. And I'm putting the base of the blade with the base. You see how much sharper that curve is. And I'm trying to put the base of the blade with the base of the blade there. There you go. This knife right here is a pain in the dick to sharpen. This one's not that bad. So, but that is something to keep in mind. If you're going to use it, you're going to need to resharpen it. And Karambits can be hard to resharpen. That's not a Deep 6 problem. That's a Karambit problem. So, for me, after I get done testing it, this will be a meat knife and a meat knife only. It is what it is with it. If you have bigger hands than me, these may not, or bigger fingers, I should say, these may be a con for you. Like I said, I mean, my hand fits in it fine. Yours may not. This will be a con for some people. This is my biggest con. Notice that. And that's the fundamental opposite problem of what I had when I first got it. When I first got it, it wouldn't come out. Now, this is an easy fix. All right, you could either make your own sheath, buy an aftermarket. When he sent me something on Facebook, someone that did, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat this up right here and push in on it really hard and make a little bit bigger detent. The belt loop. And now, Bernhardt did say this was a cost-saving option. He said that up front. For most uses, not a big deal. All right, I took this knife and scabbard in its factory guise, and I put it on one of my body armor vests, and it worked fine. But wearing it on the belt line, such as for carrying concealed, not so much. No, I wasn't a fan. The belt loop that they used was almost like a tech lock, but not quite. It had a little latch on it that you could lock or unlock, and I found it would come unlocked. And when I would sit down or something, I would bump on it, and it would just come loose, and it wasn't a big deal. Now, I never planned on keeping an external belt loop to wear this outside the belt. I never planned on that from the get-go. I will say that. I think if you put, like, I haven't tried this with a soft loop on it, so I can't say it'll work better or not because I don't know. But I just put a shock cord on here out of 550 cord. You could use actual shock cord if you wanted to. Fine. Works fine like this. What I may do is I may move that shock cord down lower so I can tuck my shirt in over it, because I do occasionally wear a tucked in shirt and I don't like leaving this thing behind. I do love this knife. So the belt loop was a no-go. I do know that Bernhardt does sell Blade Tech and Skallywag. I'm using the owner's name because I've talked to the guy several times. He's a really cool dude, so I'm trying to give him props where I can. But I know they do sell Blade Tech accessories that will work on this thing just fine. So, and what I may end up also trying, and I haven't tried this yet, the clip plate for my SC Laser Strike. I'm going to see if I can mount that on here, because that would give it a little bit lower ride. for use on like a duty belt or something like that. I would have to work on this retention before I did that, but nevertheless. So the sheath, it does the job. It does protect the knife very well. When I have tension from my belt when I'm carrying inside the waistband, we don't have that problem. Okay, it moves a little bit, but not much. And that's just with finger pressure. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear it rattling when I don't have pressure on there, but that, if it's loose. Okay. Not a big deal. Like I said, for how I carry it, it's not that big of a deal. Now, there is a plus to that. A looser sheath obviously means the knife comes out faster. But the downside is the knife comes out easier. So, with a karambit, if you get into a grappling situation and someone gets that ring, it's really easy to take from you. That's any ring. You know, if I can get my finger in there, I can get it out. Okay. Now, that goes both ways. I can get it out easy. It's not uncommon if I see something I don't like, for me to just kind of put my hand, look like I'm sticking my thumb in my belt, and I am, and I'm already here. And boom. So it's a plus and a minus, okay? But keep that in mind if you're getting this for, say, duty use, or if you're going to carry it like externally on body armor or something where it might, you may end up getting thrown, blast, or something like that. This is more for military guys, police officers working a meth lab, things like that. Hazardous environment, where the hazard is your environment might blow up. You could lose your blade, but you have bigger fish to fry if your environment's blowing up, like losing your life. But it could be something to think about. Other negatives, and there's not many. I am nitpicking, okay? And this is my fault. Serrations are harder to sharpen, okay? They just are than a straight edge. It is what it is. But I got these for a reason. And I'll make a separate video. Well, no, I'm going to go ahead and touch it. With the karambit, it works like a tiger's claw, okay? It pierces going in, and it feeds, as you pull through, it feeds everything across that point, okay? Just like the claw of a big cat. Now, when you've got fibrous substances, clothing, especially like leather jackets, stuff like that, it's harder, not impossible, but harder to cut that with a straight edge. Serrations will walk through it a little bit easier. And I think that's a good thing, because winter happens, it gets cold here in North Carolina. It gets cold most everywhere, or at least cold enough for people to decide they want to put a heavy coat on. If you need to cut someone wearing a heavy coat, those will help you. Let's see, what else? Shipping was beautiful, okay? I ordered this on like a Monday or a Tuesday. I had it on like Wednesday, Thursday. It come from Minnesota. I wasn't even expecting it yet. It showed up a day before the ship. I forget how he shipped it, but it showed up at the post office. I don't know if he shipped it, U.S. Postal or one of the where the other shipper transfers it to the post office for final delivery. I don't know, but it showed up a day early, and I got an email saying your package has been delivered, and I was like, that was impressively fast. From talking to the guys at Skallywag, and I know people that have dealt with them for a while, class act people, and they make ridiculously awesome blades. If you're in the market for a fixed blade to carry, either for duty use or for concealed use, you can do a whole lot worse than this one, guys. I like to use it for a reverse grip, but like I said, because of the jamping, it will work in a saber grip for combative uses as well. So, very well designed knife, a hell of a lot of knife for the money. The only thing that I would suggest changing is the belt loop on the sheath. That's it. That is it. If you don't like karambits, this ain't the knife for you. If you do like karambits and you're looking for a fixed blade one, you could do a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse. This is by far one of my favorite knives right now. There are two knives that I carry more often than not, excluding my very first pocket knife that I use for utility stuff, which is everything from cleaning out my grubby fingernails to opening these. That's the Skallywag Deep 6 and the Benchmade sock feet. I have every intention of replacing this for everyday carry use with a Skallywag dagger. This knife has impressed me that much. And I am a total Benchmade fanboy, so for me to look at replacing one of their products with another company's similar product says a lot. That's first impressions on the Skallywag Deep 6 Karambit. K. Smith, Total Force Holdings. I'm definitely giving that blade a thumbs up. If you have more questions about it, something question specific, shoot me a message. Hit the comments up and let me know. For Skallywag Tactical, good stuff. Good stuff. They had it packaged very nice. I've shared pictures of that. Very nice box that protected the knife really well. They threw in a patch, then I actually wear that on my jacket every time I'm at work when I need to wear a jacket. And so when I'm doing the doorman thing, I'm repping Skallywag Tactical. Why? I appreciate the company. I appreciate the products. So, rather long video. It's going to be right at 26 minutes. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have questions about the knife, let me know. If you're looking for one, SkallywagTactical.com. Look for Deep 6 Karambit. And it's got my seal of approval. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay frosty. Have a good day. K. Smith, Total Force Holdings, signing off.